3 steps to modern day recruiting. The first one is you've got to define the culture. The second one is you've got to build the culture. And then finally, you've got to market the culture. Let's back up and let's talk about defining it. Defining it has so many incredible elements. Defining what right looks like is really what I'm talking about. Defining what behaviors need to show up in order to remain aligned to your mission, vision, values, and hopefully your culture statement. From there, I'm going to kind of pull down and go into marketing the culture itself. In order to market it, you've got to first define it, and by defining it, you've got to start with the basics. That's creating your culture playbook. Again, defining what's right. And when you're able to define it, imagine showing up every day and the specifics around what right looks like. Defining what right looks like and being able to build your culture and market your culture really is centered around a core thing, and that's beginning with your culture playbook. Being able to zoom in on the daily of behaviors that are aligned to your mission, vision, values. So here's an example of that. Let's say inside of your mission, vision, and values, you have things around collaboration or teamwork, for example. So you would begin with a philosophy around the purpose of when we are at X, this is how we collaborate. This is what we see when we collaborate. This is what we do when we collaborate. This is what we don't do when we're not being an effective team. Imagine taking 30 days and your entire team is defining what right looks like. So an example would be you take the first week, maybe the second week, and you literally write down all of the statements of what it means to collaborate, what you're doing, what you're seeing, what you're feeling, what you believe, individually. Pull those together and you can create a word cloud. Out of the word cloud, on a side note, you're actually going to get other tidbits of what right looks like around other actionable words. But let's go back to the team and the collaborate. So now you've got some words, maybe you've got a word cloud. Now let's start taking some pictures. Maybe it is 2 team members sitting at lunch going over a piece of work. Maybe it's a team doing whiteboarding. Maybe it's a team doing a video montage or a podcast together. Maybe it's a team out in the field. Maybe it's a team welcoming a new team member. Maybe it's an interview It literally could be anything, a group getting training. Now let's move forward. You've got some pictures. Maybe you've done some little videos throughout the month. Guess what happens? What happens is, it's just like when you buy a new car. All of a sudden, you see that new car literally everywhere. What happens is your entire team is seeing what teamwork looks like, feels like, sounds like, what it means to show up. And now you've really defined the boundaries of what right looks like around the culture. So now that is the defining of it. The building happens when new team members come in and they start to call out one another of this is how we collaborate, this is how we don't collaborate. And so you've got the whole team engaged. And then when I talk about go-to-market can be put into your recruiting ads. It could be a quick interview that you did with an employee, or maybe the leader of the actual department saying inside of the job ad, click on this 30-second video and hear from the leader of what it means to be a part of the team. And so now everybody gets it. The boundaries are so tight of what right looks like around that one word. You now have begun to actually be very deliberate and intentional about what is right inside of your culture and create your playbook. So again, modern day recruiting, it's a lot. But let's start with the basics. Let's define the culture, let's build the culture, and let's market the culture. My name is Shelley Smith, the proud owner of Premier Rapport. If you would like to know more about defining your culture, building your culture, and marketing your culture, let's start with a playbook. Contact me today.